and is shoveled over to Craig Ramsey. He's checked by Shutt. Now by Hawkinson, who knocked him flat on the ice. It might have been Mike Ramsey. And I think we're going to get some penalties here by referee Brian Lewis. He's skating backwards toward the penalty timekeeper's bench. Going to get an icing call here against the Kings. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network. Ruskowski jumps in front. Schoenfeld's going to get the penalty for slashing. Now, whether any other subsequent penalties will be dished out, I'm not sure.
One of them was Jim Schoenfeld. Now, as the puck came away, Bernie Nichols got part of his arm up on Jim Schoenfeld and gave him a little shot, and then Nichols slashed at Schoenfeld, and Schoenfeld turned around and gave it to Nichols, and I think Schoenfeld was the only one who was caught.
13, Jim Schoenfeld, 2 minutes for slashing.
Nichols down the right side. He is checked. Lindy Ruff picks it up for the Sabres. He sends it behind the net, and a check thrown by Terry Ruskowski there on Phil Housley, and Roscoe banged Housley pretty good. Puck comes into the King zone, and an offside called, and now Mike Ramsey and Ruskowski get into it, and now Foligno grabbed Ruskowski. Well, Roscoe checked Housley behind the net, and he whacked him pretty good. And they had words as they came up the ice. And Mike Ramsey, a bigger player than Housley, got in front of them, and Ruskowski went after Mike Ramsey, and then Mike Foligno jumped in and tried to grab Ruskowski. And now right between the two benches at center ice, everybody's been separated, but we will get some penalties here, I'm sure. 18:57 to go in the game. 2-2 tie as the Sabres score early here in the third period. Ruskowski and Foligno still having words. So while they head for the penalty box, now wait a minute, Lindy Ruff comes over, and he's got to get his 2 cents in. Ruskowski has not gone in the penalty box yet. Now he's hollering at Lindy Ruff. And we've got a fight on the other side of the ice now. Nichols is being wrapped up by somebody over there, one of the Sabres, and I can't see who it is. And now Nichols wrestles him down to the ice. The puck had come to Wells at the left point, and over on the far side of the ice, Bernie Nichols into a scrap with one of the Buffalo Sabres. It's Brent Peterson. So they will go to the penalty box. 4-2 Buffalo. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the Los Angeles Kings Hockey Network.
Buffalo penalty, number 20, Brent Peterson. Los Angeles penalty to number 9, Bernie Nichols. 5 minutes each for fighting. Number 708.
Engblom couldn't hold it in. Barrasso has lost his stick. Tucker goes in and gets it. Well, now look out. We've got a check near the boards, and then Sykes jumped over 2 Sabres and bumped one of them, and they go down to the ice.
And Larry Playfair tries to peel Sykes off the back of one of the Sabres as those two fell down. Larry Playfair, 6'4", 200 pounds, and he'll get in there whenever any of his teammates. Oh, now somebody threw a punch at Engblom. Engblom and Sear, is it, or Miller?
Now it's Bob Miller and Sear. Sear threw about 4 right hands, and then Bob Miller wrestled him down to the ice. One linesman. Now Bozak gets help from Ron Foyt and tries to break that up.
Sykes and whoever that is for the Sabres still on top of each other with no officials, and now they break it up.
Down the left wing, trying to get around Hardy. Sealing in deep, centers it, poked behind the net by Janusek, and Hardy knocks Sealing down. And offside called against the Kings.
Yeah, Hawkinson and Playfair pushing and shoving now. Now a couple Sabres come in. Where are the Kings?
Well, I think they were headed for the bench, and they turned around and realized that Hawk was deep in the Buffalo zone and pushing and shoving with Larry Playfair. Look out now. Now somebody's getting into it. Smith and Playfair, or is it Playfair? He's throwing all kinds of right hands. Or is it Sean McKenna?
McKenna, number 12.
Sean McKenna and Doug Smith. And McKenna whacked Dougie with about 4 right hands and knocked him down. And they'll separate them now.
It's our third altercation of the period. Really our fourth. The first one wasn't involving fighting majors, but Ruskowski and Mike Ramsey did go for roughing each other.
Well, Sean McKenna got the best of that with Doug Smith. They both go to the penalty box now. And Smith, before he goes, has a few words for McKenna. His backhander broken up in front. Back come the Sabres now. Up to center, and a hard check on Dave Maloney by 2 of the Kings. Shutt and Hawkinson, and an offside called against Buffalo. Oh, brother. No place for the weak of heart out there tonight, Nick. And now the Sabres upset with Hawkinson.
Well, the Kings, one thing you could say about this drawn-out third period is that they're definitely not backing down from the Sabres. They're getting involved now. Playfair and Maclellan.
And Maclellan is just whacking Playfair, and he knocks him down. Now he knocked his helmet off, and he knocked him down to the ice. Brian Maclellan just leveled Larry Playfair.
Here comes Barrasso.
Now who's he going to go after? Both goaltenders are out of the crease. That's a 2-minute minor. Now everybody's in front of the Sabre bench.
You know why the Sabres came out? Because Playfair, their biggest guy, was getting beat up by Brian Maclellan. That's why.
A great job by Maclellan. Now Playfair trying to get at the Kings bench. Or not Playfair, excuse me, Barrasso. And Janasek throwing a punch at Barrasso.
Of course, players from both clubs trying to help out their goaltenders. But Brian Maclellan just manhandled 6'4", 200-pound Larry Playfair. Mac, no slouch, the biggest player for the Kings at 6'3", 215.
Great job by Maclellan. He just grabbed Playfair and pounded him right down to the ice. Mac doesn't get mad very often, but he did that time. And they're still trying to separate the goaltenders. I believe are at the bottom of the pile. Barrasso came skating out, and then all of a sudden it looked like he and Janasek.
Well, we've got something going on. Ruskowski, Dion, Hamel has a hold of, who is that? Gary Galley?
Or is it Galley?
I think it's Galley.
Yeah, it's Galley. They've kind of separated everybody now except Galley and Gilles Hamel.
Lindy Ruff and one of the Kings on the boards right in front of the Buffalo bench. We can't see who it is, but now they have kind of cooled off. Dave Taylor apparently was mad at Ruff, but he's being restrained by another member of the Buffalo Sabres. Barrasso and Janasek still talking to each other, but they've kind of calmed down now. I don't know if it was Barrasso that was going after Janasek. We mentioned Barrasso. He gets involved. He got involved here last year, his rookie year. He came charging out of his goal crease, and Janasek had to leave his to even the score up.
I think you're right, Nick. The Sabres couldn't believe that Larry Playfair just got pounded down to the ice by Brian Maclellan. And then they jumped out to help him, and that was when Playfair was down on the ice. And these fans standing and applauding the Kings, they have come fighting back in the third period in more ways than one.
Literally, they have. We've had, well, let's see, an altercation, Ruskowski and Mike Ramsey, Nichols and Peterson, Miller and Sear, Smith and McKenna, and now Playfair and Brian Maclellan. This was the best bout. The heavyweights, the two biggest guys on the ice. Playfair, the biggest guy for the Sabres. Big Mac, the #1 guy size-wise for the Kings, and he really was all over Playfair. And the Sabres, they were in the kind of a middle of a line change. It looked like there were about 8 players out for each team, but the Sabres came to Playfair's aid first. The Kings didn't have to because Maclellan was all over Playfair.
You know, we have wondered on more than one occasion, Nick, what would happen if Brian Maclellan got upset, because he is such a big guy. Well, we just found out. He got upset there, and he took on Larry Playfair, 6'4", 220 pounds. Brian Maclellan of the Kings just hammered him right down to the ice, knocked his helmet off, hammered him down. Mac is 6'3", 212. Playfair.
Now look at Tom Barrasso, Barrasso and Foligno are talking to some of the fans who are egging on the Sabres, and Foligno just gave the Italian salute to the crowd. He is Italian. Well, look at him. He's still motioning. He should get him game misconduct for that. That's uncalled for from a professional athlete to the crowd.
Jerry Korab, who's not playing tonight, did that once in Philadelphia one night. And the fans now getting all over Foligno. Well, we have quite a night at the Fabulous Forum. Foligno still standing, staring at the crowd.
Well, the crowd probably threw something on the bench. Now he's making obscene gestures. No call for that from a player.
Larry Playfair, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 30, Tom Barrasso, a 2-minute minor for leaving the crease. 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Number 17, Mike Foligno, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Los Angeles penalties to number 27, Brian Maclellan, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 1, Bob Janicek, 2 minutes, a minor for leaving the crease, 5 minutes for fighting, and a game misconduct. Number 3, Gary Galley, a 5-minute for fighting and a game misconduct. Time of the penalties, 16:07.
So everything equals out.
Housley for the Sabres. Housley to the King line. Oh, he is knocked down by Nichols.